The legs
Yeah.
I can smell all of the smoke, all that love and positivity, that shit is a joke. I should dead them all, my heart ski down slopes when you did piggy bank. Everybody wanna see you broke, bro. Me and snakes don't lip lock. I don't think the feet look good on me like flip flops. I know if I spit it, it belongs in this ziploc. They know I'ma kill them, all they hearing is tick tock. Your time is up. Where there's fire, you see the smoke, yeah. I know liars, I seen them fold, yeah. I'm so tired from all these souls, it's done been a good year. My tires don't leave the road, yeah. Are they serious? I seen liars that testified under oath, I hear. Rappers not living out what...
All right, let me talk to you real quick about Rexius Nutrition in Ralston. Rexius carries an awesome line of pre-workout from brands like Alpha Lion, Bucked Up, 5150, Insane Labs, and several other brands. They also have a great selection of protein powder, including my personal favorite, the All Max Hexapro cookies and cream flavored. Can't go wrong with that. They also carry the very popular brand Accent Sledge protein powders, branched chain amino acids, which are crucial to stay hydrated, and pre-workout. They also carry locally owned brands like VHI Fit, carry their protein powders in several different flavors. They also have pre-workout, branched chain amino acids, vegan protein powder as well. And if you have a sweet tooth like me, you gotta try this Omaha protein popcorn. The owners Jamie and Brent Stryker are absolute studs and are very knowledgeable with a background in bodybuilding. Jamie even reached pro status as an IFBB pro women's physique competitor. Stop by Rexius Nutrition in Ralston on the corner of 84th and Q and receive 10% off when you tell them you're there on an official visit. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oscar Galindo. I'm back with another episode of The Official Visit. This week I'm here with one of the, in my opinion, one of the more underrated or under the radar players out of Central Nebraska. Does it on offense, does it on defense for the Gothenburg Swedes. It's senior wide receiver / flex tight end a little bit there, and outside linebacker Kooper Koehn. Cooper, man, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. You know, championship week. I'm enjoying some good football. Not liking the fact that it's getting a little bit colder, but hey, man, we'll make it work, right? Yeah. All right, man. So starting off here, I got a couple pregame questions for you, just to kind of get the ball rolling. The first one I have for you is: do you have a pregame routine? And this could be either one that you have individually, or maybe you guys have one as a team. Maybe you guys like to do dinner or like a team meal or something, whatever it may be.
So for home games, we do have a little pregame ritual. We have a group called the Fumblers that brings us in. We have a team dinner the night before, and then we talk about goals we have for the week, how the week went, get everything going, talking about the game. And then pregame for me, I don't have any super superstitious rituals. I just kind of go how I feel. Gotta make sure I'm feeling well, but nothing.
Yeah, definitely. Just how you're feeling that day. If you needed a little bit more, mental time to kind of, slow down, maybe you need to, get hyped a little bit. Do you ever turn on some pregame tunes, some jams on?
I do get a few of those going, getting the right.
Yeah. Well, what song or artist gets you going before a game or gets the boys going?
It kind of depends. Sometimes I'm feeling like 21 Savage. If we're feeling like we need to get out and after the team, but he's probably the one I go to the most.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. A little 21 Savage mode, or Savage getting Savage mode there a little bit before a game.
Yeah.
I dig that. Yeah. All right. And then I know you play both sides for Gothenburg. I know I feel like you lean towards the offensive side a little bit more. So I'll kind of let you answer this how you feel. But do you have a favorite player either in college or the NFL that you like to watch and maybe model, like kind of try to take some pointers from their game a little bit and try to add it to yours?
I definitely my two favorite players I'd say is Stephon Diggs and Devontae Adams. More to the offensive side. I like just how they are able to get open. Neither of them, they're both really fast, but neither of them like show their speed. Their routes are just so good that no one can stay with them. So that's what I try and do.
Yeah, definitely. And they kind of have that like a little bit bigger, maybe lengthier frame too as well. To play watching your tape, you tend to play a lot bigger than your size is. So yeah, I definitely see that. I like that comparison there a little bit. The next one I got here for you are top 3 sports movies for you.
Top 3 sports movies. I'd have to say, what's it called? When the Game Stands Tall.
Okay.
That's one of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Bench Warmer. And probably The Longest Yard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Those are some good ones. Got some serious stuff in there with When the Game Stands Tall, and then Bench Warmers, that one's a classic. Yeah. Longest Yard, that one too. Athlete, that's amazing. I always say that all the time from Bench Warmers. All right. And then the next question I got here for you, it's a question sponsored or brought to us by our sponsor, Rexius Nutrition in Ralston. I want to know, who is the biggest weight room monster on the Gothenburg football team?
Well, obviously I'm going to say myself because I love to be in.
Yeah.
I've been the weightlifter of the year twice.
Okay. All right.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I would say I'd say there's 3 guys competing for it. We have offensive lineman Caleb Tamala. He outlifts all of us in everything. I'm catching him, but he outlifts all of everything. Yeah. And then Jackson Dom and Evan Johnson. Those 2 got the weightlifter of the year under their belts. So I'd say.
Nice, man. Some young guys there. Hey, man, coming for the crown there. Nice. What? So you got some numbers you want to throw out there? What you pushing?
So my squat, I did 405 this summer.
Ooh, okay.
I cleaned 240, and then bench.
Nice. What was that bench?
200. It's not the great.
200. Okay. Yeah, man. Hey, that's weight, man. That's weight you're moving out there for sure, dude. That's some impressive numbers, man. Nice, man. Yeah, I like the humbleness there a little bit, and then definitely shouting out those other guys there. I'm just playing, but awesome, man. Nice to see you guys like to that weight room gets put to good use out there. So and then the last kind of pregame question I got here for you is, what is a good spot to eat out in Gothenburg? Outside of the burger or the McDonald's and Subways and stuff like that. What's a good low-key spot to go grab a bite to eat out there?
So we don't have a whole bunch here, not in a very big town, but I would probably say a T. Walker's, what it's called, like a place. Okay.
Burgers?
Yeah, they have really good pie.
Oh, okay. Well, what's a typical order for you there?
I normally actually do the chicken strip basket.
Okay, yeah, can't go wrong.
It comes with the most food, so that's why I choose that.
There you go, man. Smart, dude. It's very smart. That's a veteran move right there. All right, so sorry again. Repeat that one more time for me. The name of the place?
T. Walker's.
T. Walker's in Gothenburg. That we're gonna add that to the list of spots to check out in Nebraska. So, those are the pregame questions, man. I appreciate you, kind of opening up a little bit there for us. Now we're kind of transitioning here. Talk a little bit more about you and your playing career. And, talking about that, I do want to jump all the way to the beginning to where it started for you. And that's kind of just where you got your start in football. How was it that what drew you to it? Who kind of got you signed up for it? Talk to me a little bit about your story with the game there a little bit.
So my dad is a big sports fan. He played college basketball. And so, he got me into sports really young. It was the baseball, the football, the basketball, doing all those. And I just continued playing with them and was watching the games with my dad before I even remember. I still remember in kindergarten teaching kind of how to play football to everyone because everyone was getting new to the games and different things. And so that's when we kind of started to play. But I'd say my dad was the person who kind of got me into the game. Then just watching, playing Madden, doing all that stuff
Yeah.
just got me to where I am today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so sounds kind of like Pops kind of piqued your interest, and then getting out there and maybe even doing a little bit of coaching there to the other young kids there early, kind of got you even roped you even more. So when did you kind of know, like, all right, this isn't just something I like to do, but this is something obviously from all your hard work and all the stuff you've done to like get recruited and stuff like that. When did you kind of know, like, all right, this is something I want to pursue further besides just my time in kids like Pop Warner or whatever, and then my time in high school. When did that kind of set into your mind, I guess?
So it kind of set into my mind my junior year. About midway through, I was like, I really like this, and I kind of want to go further into it. And so I kind of just looked into it, and I saw a few kids around the area sending their stuff out. So I was like, hey, I'm going to try that to see what happens. And a few teams hit on it, and so I just kept going with it, and that's how I kind of got into it. Just send my film out just to
Yeah.
see who would respond, say anything, and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then, uh, yeah, I feel like that's kind of the same way, a lot of kids, kind of get their start up and really start showing their interest in the recruiting aspect of the game. Um, but I guess in your time in high school, what have kind of been some of your challenges? I know even recruiting can kind of be a bit of a challenge coming from some of those smaller schools out in central Nebraska. What have kind of been some of your challenges throughout your playing career, and then what have you done to really overcome those?
So my freshman year, we had a junior group of wide receivers. There was 5 of them. So I didn't expect to get on the field at all my sophomore year. But I worked that summer a lot, got onto the field because we wanted the older guys to just play one way to keep them more fresh with the heat. And the heat started to die off, and so they were coming back to playing both sides. And so I kind of got bumped out of there. And so I made it a goal to become the number 1 wide receiver the next year because it was like 2 games left when I got bumped out. So I made it the goal. To make sure next year I was the number 1 wide receiver so I could play all the snaps, never have a worry, and be the main target on offense. That was probably the biggest challenge I faced.
Yeah. So then, kind of from there, like, kind of leads me to my next question. There is like, I'm guessing from there, you said you start, after being bumped out of that rotation a little bit, you really kind of started to gear down. What were some of the things that you really wanted to, what parts of your game were you really starting to say, all right, if I want to make sure I'm that number 1 receiver next year, I need to make sure this is on point. I need to make sure this is on point. And then where did you start seeing the biggest areas of growth in your game?
So the things I focused on the most was like my hands, making sure every ball was caught, looking everything in, because we don't get a lot of passes where I'm from out here, mainly. And so making sure I'd catch every ball that came my way. And then routes, making sure my routes were the best and I could sell different things to get myself even more open to make it so it was like, hey, we have to get Kooper the ball on the outside. And then I'd say those 2 parts made the biggest difference. Because even when I went around to camps this past summer, the routes I was being able to do and selling people to make them think I was doing a different move, that I feel like compared to other wide receivers is what set me apart.
Yeah, definitely. And that's on. Yeah, I definitely picked up on that. I saw you in person at the what's the name of it? Spot the Ball, right? Yeah, Spot the Ball out here. And yeah, that was one of the things that I noticed and I really liked about your game was that being a taller, kind of bigger receiver. Sometimes receivers of your size, they rely on their size. They go up for the jump balls, or they rely on just being bigger and more physical than the other receiver. However, when watching your game, I really liked your suddenness. You're really good with your start and stop. Especially at the top of your route and stuff like that. What were some of the things you were kind of doing to improve that and to work on that aspect of the game?
So we had a kid recently graduate from here. Went on and walked on at the Huskers. Preferred walk on there, Bennett Folkers. So I went in the summer zone workout with him to see what they did for their different steps at the top of the route, and I learned different, like a hammer step and the quick cuts. I learned how to do all those effectively, and so that's what was able to boost me further.
Awesome. Nice, man. That's great use of, your resources there too a bit, reaching out and, kind of seeing where you are taking that initiative to see what you could do or what, people at that, level that you desire are doing. So that's really cool to hear. So then, obviously, that ended up working. You became, the number one, wide receiver one on the team, and that, you never looked back from that. So, switching there, kind of talk a little bit about, playing with Gotham or playing for the Swedes. I went back and looked. You guys made the playoffs for the first time since 2020. So, if I'm correct, that was your freshman year.
Yes.
Freshman year. So, and I'm sure you were probably on the freshman team at that point. But yeah, so kind of tell me what that journey was like playing with Gothenburg, and maybe even touch a little bit on what that meant to make sure you got back to the playoffs for your senior year.
Well, like at the beginning of the season, all the seniors met, and we were like, "Hey, we got 1 year left. We got to make it to the playoffs."
Mm-hmm.
And so the season started off with a team we'd never beat before. Us seniors have never beat Oklahoma in any sport.
Wow.
And so beating them gave us the confidence. And then we went the next week into McCook, and they were supposed to be the powerhouse of the state. And when we beat them, I think that made the confidence and the actual belief of the team to where we can actually do this. And then I don't think we went into a game fearing the opponent all year.
That's great to hear that. That first game is, like you said, starting the season off 1-0 is huge. Starting the season off 1-0 against a team that, like you mentioned, you'd never beaten before, that's massive. So then, I'm sure yourself as a leader and as a senior, you were kind of probably, at the forefront of leading that charge. What were some of the things you were kind of doing? Are you more of a lead by example kind of guy, or are you I'll go up and give a speech, or maybe just coach up maybe the younger guys on the sideline? What kind of leader are you, or what did you do to really kind of drive that home that, hey, we're making it back to the playoffs this season?
I will say I'm a lead by example type. I'll give a speech, talk to people, but most of the time I just try and show that this is how it's supposed to be done, and then have people try and model it after. And then one thing I did this year in football was I just tried to stay positive. When everything was going downhill and everyone was dropping their heads, I was the dude that was saying positive, keeping everyone's heads up with that belief. And then I feel like that is what got us to where we were, because then a few other guys started to do that. And then we had maybe 1 or 2 heads drop, and when instead other teams would have all 11. All 11 would believe hey, we can't do this, where we were still optimistic.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys had a great season. You guys won more games than you lost, but even within there are some games that the ups and downs. So yeah, I do. Yeah, that's great that you're able to kind of be that positive influence on the team. And you're kind of sticking on that subject. I'm a huge believer in having your mind right before a game, or just having your mind right and being positive and whatever you do. And I look at today's athletes, and I look at you guys, and all that you guys have to do in terms of first of all, you have high expectations on the field. You got schoolwork, you got personal life, and then on top of
I'm pretty good with being able to designate time to different things. So
okay.
I'd focus on the school part from their school hours, focus on the football part during the practice, and then the recruitment part I'd do as much as I could in between different parts, and then everything else that needed to come I'd be able to do after football. So I was able to keep everything pretty spaced out and not let stuff overlap of each other.
Yeah, definitely. Just that ability to kind of organize and compartmentalize in your brain, and be able to distinguish when it's time to do that. That's huge. That's a huge trait to have, and especially in college. With even more added responsibilities and stuff like that, and even busier schedules. So, from there, kind of segueing into college, like we said, the next thing I want to talk about was your recruitment. So, you got a list of offers here. I'm gonna read them off. You got offer from Dort, Midland, Rolls Holman, Graceland, and Nebraska Wesleyan. So you got a solid list of offers there. Some NAIAs, D3s. What has your recruitment been like so far? Kind of talk to me a little bit about your journey in that up until this point.
So it's been very busy. I think from right here, I've been on 18 or 19 visits.
Nice.
We've
Wow.
getting around, getting different places. Every weekend in the football season, I was at a different game day visit. So I've been trying to explore as much as possible, get my name out there as much as possible. So
Yeah, definitely. We want to share a little bit of some of those visits, kind of which schools have kind of been standing out the most to you, and which schools have maybe left the biggest impressions on you after visiting.
the school that had like the biggest impression that I was like, whoa, was definitely Wyoming.
Oh yeah.
That was just completely different than the other visits I've been on. And then some of the other ones that made big impressions is like a northern state. They have great facilities. They are top of the notch. We went up there. I didn't know what to expect, but I was definitely impressed. And other schools that have made definitely big impressions is like Shadron. They have very nice facilities. Another school I wasn't expecting. I didn't know what to expect up there, but everything up there was very nice. And then South Dakota Mines. I think their stadium is very cool. The way they have the cars parked there, so people watching their cars. So that was very neat.
Okay. Huh. I haven't seen their stadium, so that's pretty interesting. They have like their cars like lined up
They
along
have
this.
they have one side with the bleachers, and
Uh-huh.
kind of ring around it. They have
Oh, okay.
different tiers where people can park their car and watch.
Huh. That's pretty cool, man. I didn't know that. Dang. So yeah, it sounds like, hey man, it sounds like you've had some pretty good times visiting these schools, seen some really cool things, met some really cool coaches. But what are kind of some of those things that when it's time to really come down and say, all right, this is what it's time to make a decision. What are some of those things you're kind of leaning towards in terms of what a school could offer you? Like is it academics, coaching staff, whatever it may be.
So the biggest thing to me is if they have my degree.
Okay.
I wanted to be a civil engineer, so some of the schools
Nice.
don't offer that.
Yeah.
And so trying to find schools that do is not the easiest. And then the next thing I look at is the coaching staff. If the coaching staff is like nice, younger, kind of into it, more energy versus like an older coaching staff who tends to just yell instead of like see where the players are. That's why some of the schools have stuck out so much is they have young, new, innovative coaching staffs.
Okay. Yeah. Nice, man. That's an interesting take. And yeah, that's very cool. Wanting to major in civil engineering, I can't even begin to fathom the kinds of classes you'll be taking for that, man. So, but hey, man, props to you, dude. That's really cool. And yeah, I'm sure that's a tough one to, find a school that has that. But I'm sure School Minds, yeah, they probably have that for sure. So, but yeah, awesome. And then so on the flip side, then if I'm a coach and I have you in my office and you're on a visit, and I ask you, Kooper, what do you bring to the team? What about you as a person, as a player, makes you an asset to my team? What would your answer to that be?
That I'm a dude that I'm very level-headed. Like every situation, you have to view it as the same. You can't make one be so much bigger than something else because everyone sees the pressure in the last minute of the game, but what really is the first few plays, getting everything calmed down. And so I think being very level-headed and being able to view every situation evenly, that definitely brings something to the team. And then the positivity. no matter what, you got to stay positive, and I'm one of those dudes that am able to give positivity to other guys even when they aren't positive themselves, to keep the team rolling and never let the team go too negative.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's definitely, something that translates well, not just to like on the field and in the game, but just having a person like that in the locker room is huge. Being a leader, someone that can be positive and make sure everybody, nobody's hanging their heads down. When times are tough, that's awesome to have, and that's definitely huge to have on the team. So yeah, definitely. And let me see here. I'm almost done here for you. Last thing I do here is the last segment I do is I turn the table over to my guest, so you can give out your game balls. And by game balls, I mean just your shout outs to those people in your life that have helped you make it this far and kind of pushed you to be the best version of yourself and really hung in your corner there. It could be coaches, your parents, teammates, family, friends, whoever it may be. Just those people that have really, like I said, just kind of stuck with you and pushed you to be your best. So, this is your opportunity to hand out those game balls.
So my first two people would be my parents. They kind of helped me get going with this. They make sure that everything is good with the visits. They are the people that drive me to all the visits. And so sometimes that is leaving at 6 a.m. and getting home at 2 that night. So take me there. And like at Northwestern College, my dad sat with me through the snow where they got about 5 inches. So I think
you were at that one.
Yeah, so I think those are huge things with it. And my brothers, they always push me. They're always wanting to lift with me. So then it helps me want to lift, get in there. And then it also helps me makes me like a role model to them. So then I feel like I have to do more, and so it helps push me farther. And then I'd like to thank or give it out to Mr. Schaefer, our weightlifting coach. He has done a lot for me from when I came in about 6 foot 150 to where I am now, where I'm about 6'2", 195. I've put on a lot of weight, and I'd say most of it is
nice.
good weight. And then he's also worked with me to get my 40 down. At last year, I was at a 4.95 is what I ran, and this summer I was able to run a 4.6.
Wow, yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, I ran that multiple times and had 2 of them lasered. It was pretty big.
That's huge.
Also, Mr. Shear, he was an old football coach of ours, got me going into football. Kind of not got out of football, but didn't love it as much my 7th grade year. We were very run heavy. We were thrown to the other tight end, so I worked hard that next summer. Got it so I was the number 1 dude again, and then from there, that's started to get the love back for it and all that. And all my teammates pushing me in the weight room, going with me to games, even though I sometimes take up a lot of room where we go. I bring like a house, I feel like. So.
Hey, seniority, man.
Yeah.
That cancels it out.
And so I'd like to thank all of them, the ones that have pushed me the most, shown up with me to everything. Jackson Dom and Caden Niels were probably the 2 that went with me to most of the camps. So it was nice not being alone, having people to talk to, see how they view different things. Our coaching staff here for letting me have opportunities to be able to show what I can do and get out there and all that fun stuff. Let me think, is there anyone else sticking out right now? Oh, another one. He's a parent. He's Tim Strasser. He is always pushing. He always likes my things on Twitter. He's always encouraging, pushing me harder. And then his son is Kellen. He's a senior manager for us. He's managed every year. He's the biggest fan we'll have. The most invested person. So
definitely, man. Yeah, man. Hey, that's a great list, man. That's definitely, looking back and the more people you have, it's just more, in your head, you're like, man, that's, it's just another blessing every name you can name. So yeah, definitely having those people, and really just like I said, just being able to let them know like, hey man, I appreciate everything you've done for me. So, because yeah, like you said, it's a lot of time invested, a lot of gas mileage, probably racked up some Casey's rewards there, going on those on those game day visits. So, yeah, definitely always important to kind of take that time and recognize those people in our lives. So, last question I got for you, kind of a send off question. Let you get back to it. I want to hear who you believe is going to win the college football playoff. Who's your national champion at the end of the year?
My team is Michigan.
Oh, okay.
I think they're older now, and that's going to help them keep going with it. I want to see some new blood win a championship because Ohio State won. Georgia, always wins it. Florida State had one that's semi-recent.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't have a very recent one. But then there's also a Washington, which I wouldn't mind winning it, but I'd definitely pull for Michigan over them.
All right. Yes. All right. So you open a can of worms real quick. I want to hear your opinion on what's been going on with Michigan and the whole sign stealing stuff. Just real quick.
I don't know too much about it, so I can't.
Really?
I can't say either one way or the other. I have friends that are Ohio State fans, so they know.
Okay.
And they have all the stuff saved, but I haven't
chirp. And they just chirp at you, I'm guessing.
I haven't got too deep into it. I'm more of an Oklahoma fan myself, so I try and root for us more.
There you go. All right, man. Yeah, I guess I mean I just don't like the timing of it. I feel like if it comes out, if they let them play and they end up winning it, and it turns out they were cheating the whole time, and it just ends with the vacant championship, and if they punish them right now and don't let them play, then it just leaves a huge what if on the whole season, So I don't know. I just don't like the timing of it and how it's all kind of breaking down. But it is what it is, right?
It is.
Yeah, man. But all right, man. Well, I appreciate you taking time to do this. I know you're busy with all the stuff going on. I'm sure you're probably getting ready. Are you in basketball or any winter sports?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. That's starting up for you guys already. I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, like I said, I appreciate you taking time. Busy schedule. I know you got senior stuff going on, recruitment and other sports. So yeah, I appreciate you taking time to do that. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to hearing more big things out of you. So yeah.
Thank you for having me on. It was real nice.
Man, no problem. For sure, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, taking time to do that.
Be the same dude. When you try to be the glue, it'll get you stuck. Always learn to hate, cause love will get you cut. You can have they back and they still gonna front. You can share a laugh and they can get you done. You can face